There is a famous quote among Christians that goes like this: "Preach the gospel at all times, and if necessary, use words." The quote basically means, preach the gospel all the time by the way you live and treat people, even if you don't have the chance to preach with words. Be kind, be considerate, be joyful, and people will see that there is something different about you. It's a good principle to live by. Our actions should demonstrate the love of God, even if it's just holding a door for the stranger behind us, or how we conduct ourselves while driving our cars. But this isn't the whole truth. For one thing, it's not from the Bible at all. People often attribute the quote to St. Francis of Assisi, but it's not likely that he said it either. This attitude is only a partial fulfillment of what Christians are called to do. We must absolutely use words, because the gospel is a message. Jesus both demonstrated and spoke the truth of his kingdom, never letting one be more important than the other. Isaiah 52:7 says, "How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him who brings good news." Good deeds and kindness are necessary, but if they are used as an excuse to avoid using words at all, we have failed to preach the gospel. In chapters 9 through 11 of the book of Romans, Paul expresses his grief over the fact that many of his own people had not accepted the gospel message. When speaking about those who had not heard or believed, Paul says, "I have great sorrow and unceasing anguish in my heart." He hoped that he could inspire some of his own people to follow Jesus when they saw the blessings that came to the other people who followed him. Paul was willing to allow an indirect approach to demonstrate the goodness of the gospel, but he was sure to always use words and make the message clear. How then can they call on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one of whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone preaching to them? And how can anyone preach unless they are sent? As it is written, "How beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news." So tell the story of Jesus. It is the hope for the whole world and the best news in history. He is renewing humanity and our whole world. Everyone should have the chance to know him. It's time for a braver philosophy of mission for Christians. Preach the gospel at all times. Use actions. Use words.